What's going on, everybody? I hope this video reaches everybody in good health during these times. Joe Chambers in the check-in. It's been a little while since I've been here with a video. Had some equipment difficulties, but pushed through that, and here we are. So happy NFL kickoff Sunday. Happy NFL kickoff Thursday for everybody, all my fellow football fans. So there's a lot of things to talk about, but first and foremost, I guess we're gonna start with some picks. Tonight's game is the Chiefs and the Texans, and as far as my picks go, I'm going to go with Super Bowl champion Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are obviously still intact, coming off of that Super Bowl win. The Texans have some adjustments. They no longer have DeAndre Hopkins, which is a big loss as far as weapons goes. I think Deshaun Watson is a phenomenal quarterback. He just got his big payday. So I'm pretty sure he's going to want to show people that he's worth every cent. So I believe he will come out to play. I believe the Texans will have a good season. But as far as tonight's game, I just think, that I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs. Even though there is that Super Bowl hangover, first game of the season, it could go both ways. You could either be lackadaisical, still high on your high horse due to the win, or you could, be ready to get right back to business, back to this formula that got you that Super Bowl win. So hopefully, for their sake, they're not on that type of time. You got Seattle and Atlanta. Tough situation, but I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks. Seahawks have their quarterback who's been there in their system and has pretty much Mr. Seattle for them. He's able to make the best out of bad situations. There's been constant parts moving around them, but Russell Wilson constantly has these guys in position to make a strong run at it. So I'm going to have to go with Seattle on this one. Atlanta, Matt Ryan's a solid quarterback. Julio Jones is a top-tier wide receiver, but they also have some new parts that's coming in. I'm not sure how well they'll mesh. Todd Gurley, top running back, but we have to see, if he's really back to full health after that injury that seemed to still be hindering him last year into the postseason. Chicago versus Detroit, that's a rivalry that's been going on for a long time. Both those teams, have definitely been struggling as of late. And for that pick, I'm gonna have to go with Detroit, just due to the fact that they have a solid quarterback. Chicago has Trubisky, but they still don't know. They're still seeing and hoping that he'll turn out to be somebody. They have Nick Foles as the backup, which I feel they should have went to as a starter, being an NFL Super Bowl MVP. But they chose to give their pick another chance, I guess, to show and prove. But in that sense, I'm gonna have to go with Detroit just due to the fact of they have Matthew Stafford, and the defense is solid as well. Then you got Green Bay, Minnesota, another rivalry game. For years, Green Bay and Minnesota has been going at it. Kirk Cousins is the quarterback over there in Minnesota. He's a good quarterback, but I don't think I have to edify any reason why he's not as good as Aaron Rodgers. And I believe the Packers' defense is solid, got a little bit better, so we'll see what happens with that. But I'm going to have to go with Green Bay Packers in that game. Philly and Washington. Washington's going through a lot of changes. They have a rookie or a second-year guy, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure they have a rookie as the starting quarterback, second-year guy actually. So they have a second-year quarterback to push the team forward. Aside from I think Philadelphia definitely has the better team. If Carson Wentz is stays healthy, he should definitely make it interesting for the Eagles this season. Despite me being a Cowboy fan, as you can see by the hat, I'm going to be judging my picks unbiasedly and not leading with emotion. So I'm trying to give y'all the most honest answer I can possibly give y'all. So the next game on the schedule is Cleveland versus Baltimore. I think Cleveland has a lot of talent. Bakersfield is a good quarterback to me. I like him. I think he has a lot of guts and swag. They got Odell Beckham Jr. Again, him and Landry at that wide receiver position is a very tough tandem. They have a solid running game. But I'm going to have to go with the Baltimore Ravens on how they were looking last season. Lamar Jackson is exceptional to say the least. Talent can beat you with the arm, beat you with the legs. Can he get better as a quarterback throwing? Yes, but there's not that much he has to improve in that sense to me. I'm not saying that he's on the level of an Aaron Rodgers as far as throwing the ball, but when you think about this guy is not even 3 years in, there's a lot more room for improvement. And to think that he's an MVP and there's room to improve is scary for the NFL. So I'm gonna go with Baltimore on that game. Then you got the Jets and Buffalo. I like the Jets. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Sam Darnold, is gonna get better as he's in the league, learns the system. Last year was his first year. Le'Veon Bell was his first year with the Jets. I think his second year together is gonna do a lot better. I think they need a wide receiver threat. I think that's important for them. Buffalo's defense though is very solid. So when it comes to that game, I might go with Buffalo because I'm not sure if the Jets are there yet to threaten that Buffalo defense. And the quarterback is not bad as well. He definitely showed some promise last year. Then you got the Colts in Jacksonville. I'm gonna have to go with the Colts. Phillip Rivers is you would figure he's gonna be a future Hall of Fame quarterback just by numbers. A lot of the years with the Chargers, put up a lot of numbers, played in a lot of games, postseason, didn't make it to the big one, but he definitely has experience. So I see him going to the Colts and giving them, a solid QB after Andrew Luck is disappearance, not disappearance, but retirement. I think Brisket, I think was this the quarterback's name, or Brisky, whichever the name was. Excuse me, I can't really recall at this moment in time. But this is definitely an upgrade from that quarterback. Just the fact that I can't even really recall his name says enough. So Phillip Rivers and the Colts, I believe, are going to knock off the Jacksonville Jaguars. Miami and New England. It's a new day for New England. The last 20 years has been Tom Brady at the helm. We all know about Tom Brady and his numbers and his success with the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. But you got Cam Newton here now, so it's going to be a totally different offense as we've ever seen the Patriots have. So now we're going to see if the Patriots were good due to the system and Belichick, or were they good due to the play of Tom Brady. Cam Newton, I think, is a great quarterback. I've had my issues with Cam Newton in the past, just because when I seen him in the Super Bowl, when I seen that fumble happen, I didn't see him dive in there head first to get that ball. I just question his heart. It may be unfair. Some of y'all may feel it's unfair for me to review him like that, but I can only go by what I've seen. But does that mean he's not talented, or he can't take his team to a Super Bowl or get his team to the playoffs and win and be a contender? Absolutely not. Cam Newton definitely has the goods and the skills, and now he has a chip in his shoulder. He has a lot to prove. When he was with the Panthers, he was the top guy, top dog, and maybe he was kind of feeling himself. And he had to deal with some injuries also, so you can't discredit what injuries can do to a player and his effectiveness. So if he's healthy and he's buying into the system and he's working hard, which I'm not going to deny, I think the Patriots are going to have some success. It's going to be totally different offense, so it's going to be a challenge on Bill Belichick to see how he can now adjust to coaching a quarterback with the skill set of a Cam Newton. But as far as this game goes on Sunday, I'm going with the Patriots and Cam Newton and the Patriots. You got the Chargers and the Bengals next. You have a rookie with the Chargers quarterback, so we're going to see how that's going to go, as well as Cincinnati. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Andy Dalton is gone, so I think there's a rookie quarterback over there also. So that's kind of a toss-up. I'm gonna go with the Chargers on this one. I think the Chargers have Keenan Allen. Also, they have a wide receiver that can definitely stretch that ball, and a solid weapon for the rookie to throw to. So if they're clicking well, they have a good training camp, and they have a good rapport, I think the Chargers at the very least are going to get this game started off with a win versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Tampa Bay and New Orleans, I think this is going to be a great game. Tom Brady and his new threads with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers brings in his friend Gronk over there as a weapon. They already had some offensive weapons before those two even got there. So if you factor that into the equation, and you add Tom Brady's experience and leadership and what he could bring to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think it's going to be very interesting to see. And of course, we all know about Drew Brees, the numbers that he's put up in his career, what he's done for the Saints and rejuvenized them. Well, actually, juvenated them for the first time period. Because as far as I've always known, the Saints is definitely were not good. I'm 37 years old, so watching them growing up in the 90s, they were definitely the laughing stock of the league. The Aints, not even the Saints, they call them the Aints, and they had the paper bags on their head. Nobody was happy to be there. But ever since the Katrina tragedy happened and Drew Brees got there, they've been contenders ever since, even winning the Super Bowl. And every year Drew Brees had these guys in contention. So that's going to be a great game. Saints defense is solid as well. So, it's a toss-up, but I'm going to go, with Tampa Bay on this one. Either way, it's going to be a game. It won't be by much if the Buccaneers do win. It will not be by much. Then you have the Arizona Cardinals versus the 49ers. They now have DeAndre Hopkins, to go with Kyler Murray, last year's rookie. The kid definitely has promise, definitely has skills, mobile, throws on the run. He can only get better. And them adding DeAndre Hopkins as a weapon I think, is a great move by the front office of the Arizona Cardinals to bring that guy in. And but I'm gonna have to go with the 49ers. They were in the Super Bowl last year, and all those pieces are coming back, from what I understand. The Garoppolo is getting better also. And the defense of San Francisco is super solid. So Kyler Murray is going to have his hands full on Sunday going against that defense. And then you have Dallas versus the LA Rams. Dallas has some new pieces coming in, new rookies on both sides of the football. And the Rams, pretty much, they had the departure of Todd Gurley, but they're still intact. They have Aaron Donald anchoring that defense, so that's going to be a very tough game. The Dallas Cowboys seen them in the playoffs last year, if I'm not mistaken, and they didn't fare well. So we'll see, we'll see how that goes. But Dallas versus the Rams, although I'm a Cowboy fan, I'm going to have to go with the Rams on this one. I think Dallas maybe has, especially with all this COVID stuff, even though all teams are dealing with it, Dallas Cowboys is a little bit more of a circus than most teams, to say the least. So I'm going to go with the LA Rams as far as game one goes. That's what my analyst side says. Then on Monday night, you have the two games that are the doubleheader specials for kickoff week. You got Steelers versus the Giants. I think, ironically enough, I think the Giants quarterback is not as bad or terrible as people make him seem. I think it's tough when you follow up Eli Manning, who won 2 Super Bowls for the franchise. And there's a lot of expectations, on that. But I think he's a solid quarterback. I think, again, a full year, whereas you're going to be the starting quarterback, no distractions of who are you going to be starting or are you not. And just the natural, evolution of the sport, of the player himself. You're going to evolve. You're going to adapt to situations if you are a real contender. Pay attention to the coach. You hit in the film room, you hit in the gym, you hit in the field, you get in the rapport with the players. So I think the Giants quarterback is going to be better than, people are giving him credit for. But I'm going with the Steelers on this one. Not because I'm a Cowboy fan, just because it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, Hall of Fame quarterback. That team has been together for some time. There's some new pieces coming in defensively, and to add to the defense that they had last year. So I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be starting this season off with a win against the New York Giants. Then you got the Titans in Denver. Titans was definitely looking solid last year. Definitely made a strong playoff run. I think they're going to win the first game against the Broncos. Broncos are not terrible, but I just don't think that they're up to speed with the Tennessee Titans. So I'm going to go with the Titans winning game 1 of the season. Now, that's my NFL picks to start that off. I think it was only right with this football season starting today to start with the topics being, NFL picks and who's going to win, who's not going to win. I'll get into who I think is going to win Super Bowls later on in a few weeks. I think it's way too early now to start that kind of talk and topic. Some points of interest, as far as shifting gears to basketball now, you have the Lakers versus the Rockets. I think the Lakers will win the series before the series even started. The Rockets are an explosive team, but I just don't believe in a Mike D'Antoni-led team. He's always had great offenses with Phoenix and the Knicks. When he was coaching the Knicks, he was definitely putting up numbers. Not so much defensively, as well as the Rockets. He putting up numbers, not so much defensively, and that's kind of the issue that I have with Mike D'Antoni. He doesn't really focus on defense and adjusting, game adjustments. He feels that whatever's going on is the right thing to be going on, and they're fine just the way they are. And apparently, the teams are not fine just the way they are, which is why you haven't had championship success with the teams that he has been coaching. I think the Rockets are way too small to beat the Lakers. I never thought they would have got swept. I would figure that they would have won, if they won the game in the series, would be the first game. They can win another game in the series. I'm not taking that away from them. They're a talented team. I just think Russell Westbrook and James Harden have to play exceptionally well for these guys to get wins. They have, Eric Gordon. They have some good players that can help. PJ Tucker defensively, but these guys are just too small. At the end of the day, you need to get rebounds and play defense. And rebounds, offensively and defensively, are going to give you either second chance opportunities or take away second chance opportunities from the other team. And that's pretty much where it ends. If the Lakers are just too big and they just got Rajon Rondo back, you saw the effect that had. Him playing the game with his expertise and his experience, he's able to slow the game down a bit. And Houston just wants to run up and down the court. So now, being that Rondo's back, it takes pressure off of LeBron James, but he doesn't have to be the sole facilitator. He can do it in spurts and save his energy to score the basket, play defense, which is going to be needed, and there's other factors that, play. Of course, Anthony Davis, when he plays the way that he can play, there's nobody on the Houston Rockets, let alone the league, but definitely the Houston Rockets, who can stop or corral Anthony Davis when he's on the way he can be. And LeBron's going to get his the way he gets his. He's going to fill the stat sheet up. He's going to give you points. He's going to give you assists, defense, rebounds. LeBron, he's definitely can do it all. So I've always thought before this series even started that LeBron and the Lakers was definitely going to win this, and I stand on that. Maybe in 6, maybe in 5. I guarantee you it won't be in 7. Now, the Heat bumped the Milwaukee Bucks out. That's a surprise. I can't front. I didn't see this coming from Miami. I think Jimmy Butler is great. Didn't know about these other guys so much, and I think the league did it, and I think this is why they're kind of successful. Nobody really game plan for some of these guys. And they're stepping up big, a lot of unsung heroes. Outside of course, Jimmy Butler. We all know the experience that Iguodala gives. But these unknown guys, unsung guys that you didn't account for, the guys who are stepping up to give Jimmy Butler that help. And to beat the Milwaukee Bucks, who was the number 2 seed, is a great task that they pulled off. The Greek freak, Giannis, he's going to need some help. He got injured, but before that, he was struggling. His game could get better, get more of a mid-range game, stop with the threes. Everybody wants to shoot threes. Everybody can't be Steph Curry. Everybody can't be Klay Thompson. Play your game, play to your strengths. He needs to get more of a back-to-the-basket game. Also, when he's barreling down on you and he's running up and down that court and he's going strong to the basket, ain't nobody stopping him. He's either going to get a charge or you're gonna get a foul called on you for stopping him. He needs to expand his game, and the team just needs to get better. Middleton's pretty good. Bledsoe's good, but that team definitely needs some pieces to help Giannis. I hope he stays there and they bring him around, and he doesn't go to a team that's already stacked or already in place, and does that kind of move. I think he's great. I think he's really young, and I think the Bucks have a shot. You've been the top two teams in the East 2 years in a row. You're an MVP. I just think more pieces need to be brought around you, but that's on the Milwaukee Bucks front office. Nuggets and Clippers. Nuggets balled out against the Utah Jazz. That was a great series. Great, great, great work from Jamal Murray and the Joker. By far, these guys are the two best players on the team, and there's a bunch of other players that they have that are definitely putting in their work defensively, hustle points, rebounds, giving you guys second chance opportunities. But against this team, against Utah, Utah, let's be real, they just really have Spider Mitchell. There's other good players in the squad, on the team, of course, but they're centered around Spider Mitchell, which is why Spider Mitchell had to play the way he was playing in order for Utah to be in contention, to get wins, and to play the way that they were playing. And of course, Jamal Murray had to ball out the last 3 games to get him up out of the series. But in this series, I just think the Raptors, the Clippers are just too much. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, they have a strong bench. I just think that they're deeper than Denver, and they could just withstand more of whatever Denver can throw at them. I just believe that Clippers can withstand it. Again, I don't think it's going to be easy. They're up 3-1 now. They may lose the next game, but just like the other series I said, I don't see them getting to Game 7. I think they have the Lakers in vision, and if they want the Lakers in vision, I think they have to end the series quick so they can get some rest, so they can be well rested to deal with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and company. The next on the criteria is the NFL using the bubble tactic, or bubble tactic, let's say. I believe it's kind of a good idea. I think they should adapt into what the NBA has done. I think the NBA has done a great job of keeping it in control. And the NFL, I think, needs to do that. It's tough. You got 53 guys on the roster. It's kind of tough, I guess, to try to keep these guys, corralled inside the bubble. But, you guys are adults, you're professionals. You make a lot of money. And if, you should be able to, keep yourself quarantined within this bubble. If you want to keep yourself safe, your family safe, and everybody else safe, be professionals, lock in, stay in this bubble. Because unfortunately, you can't trust these guys to not want to go out, go get something to eat, hit the clubs. And again, it's easy in basketball. You got 12-man roster, 15. It comes down to 12 during the playoffs. So it's a lot easier to keep an eye on these guys. But you got 53 guys on the roster. You got practice squad players. It's a lot tougher. But I think that would be a good idea. Have one for the AFC, one for the NFC, or maybe 2, maybe 4, because there's a lot more games too that they play during the week. Because NFL you might have 7 teams playing all at 1 o'clock. I don't think they could do. We can have one team play from 1 to 3 o'clock, then another team plays. That's going to be too much. So I think maybe having 2 bubbles, 2 sets of bubbles, or for each division would be good. So you have 2 sets for the NFC, 2 sets for the AFC. That's just an idea that I've just thought about that may or may not work, but I definitely think that they need to do something about trying to, keep this under control, because I don't want the season to begin and then the breakout happens and then you have to cut the season short. It's going to damage your brand either way. I know you want a brand to get out there to make money and all this other stuff, but it won't be good either for you to start the season, things are going good, then you have to cut the season short because now people are coming down with COVID. That's what happened in the NBA. The NBA was rolling real smooth. Rudy Gobert, if I'm not mistaken, came down with it. Then that was it. The league shut down. Spider Mitchell came down with it, and it was over. Panic. NBA shut down for about 4 months. And then now they're just returning. But now they keep it in control with it. Nobody that's in the bubble has it. Nobody's allowed in or out. Daniel House got himself into some trouble trying to sneak a woman into the hotel room, and you see where he's at now. So, NFL, just if you want to keep the brand going and really, make money and not lose money with a stoppage of play, I think you should kind of adapt that. But it starts today. They don't know who I am. So they're not gonna listen to me. So we'll see how that goes starting today and moving forward. Hopefully the season does not get cut off. Celtics versus Raptors. Celtics are balling out. I can't even front. When it comes to basketball, my affiliation is with the Knicks. So Boston I don't really favor too much, as well as the Raptors. But just looking at what's going on here, Raptors are the defending champs. But these Boston guys are very hard-nosed, a lot of talent. So who knows how this Game 7 is going to go. Kyle Lowry played a big game last night to push, a big game last night in Game 6 to push for the Game 7. Anything happens in Game 7s, so it's going to be a toss-up as to who's going to win. And they are the defending champs without Kawhi Leonard, the MVP. So that's an interesting factor, to say the least. But I'll still go with the championship pedigree. These guys won the championship, and Kawhi's a great player and a big piece of it. But you don't make it to the number 1 seed without Kawhi Leonard, without actually being a good team. So I'm going to go with the Raptors in that pick. And the last topic of interest is LeBron all-time wins in the playoffs. Some people can say that, it's ironic that you have all these playoff wins, but you don't have as much championships. Well, people have to know sports just to not just think so blindly or so straightforward with that train of thought. It's a team game, and the majority of the time, LeBron has went up against teams who are better than him. He's obviously the best player on the team, and he hasn't usually had this equal squad to go against the next team, which is why I think a lot of people consider his win in the finals against the 73-9 Golden State Warriors as his greatest accomplishment. He won it with the Miami Heat, along with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, but granted, you definitely had Kyrie Irving on the Cavaliers and Kevin Love, but that can't equate to the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. And they came in and they beat those guys down 3-1. So that's something that can't be sneezed at. And regardless of how you look at it, the reason why LeBron has all these playoff wins is because he keeps himself in top shape and he gets his team ready to where you're always in contention. You played in 9 finals, 8 of them straight, changing teams in between that time. That's not a small feat. You go 4 straight with Miami, and then you come right back with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So again, that's nothing to sneeze at. And he's always going to have his team ready, leader on and off the floor. He's making his teammates around him better, similar to what Tom Brady does in football. So, to think that I've seen this guy get drafted in 2003 and seen his whole career, it's a treat to see somebody in year 17 still playing at this level, at the MVP level. 35 years old. I'm 37. This guy's 2 years younger than me and is in way better shape than I've ever been. So, just again, congrats to LeBron James on the all-time playoff wins. That is ridiculous when you think about these Hall of Famers that have came through the league and put up the way they have put up and won, and they have won the way that they have won. You got Michael Jordan. He got six championships, but he still doesn't have as much playoff wins. That means that LeBron James, 17 years, he's been in the playoff 14 years. Out of those 17 years. That is amazing. So, and I think he's going to continue on getting playoff wins as these playoffs continue on, and as the next season comes back and he returns with the Los Angeles Lakers for however many years he plans to come back. So, we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap it up. Gave you my NFL picks for week 1 due to the NFL schedule, as well as what I felt has been going on during these NBA playoffs as of yet. I'll be back very soon with another episode. More information, more stats, more input. Everybody, please feel free. If you disagree, drop a comment. Let me know if you disagree or agree. It's quite alright. I won't take it personal. That's what makes everybody individuals. Everybody has opinions, and some of them are going to be different. Just, be respectful. And even if you want to be disrespectful, doesn't matter to me. I sleep good at night. So, I hope everybody stays positive, stays healthy, stays happy. Peace and blessings to your family. And that's pretty much it. I'll be back very soon again with another episode. Also, please hit subscribe, hit the like button or dislike button, doesn't matter. Give me feedback on what you feel I have said. Likes and dislikes on the show, things you may want to see on the show, topics you may want to hear me discuss. Please feel free to give your input down there on the comment section. But once again, Joe Chambers checking out. Peace and blessings to everybody.